up until the 1960s. The last one was shut in Canada in my lifetime, 1976.
Wow.
And basically, they took children as young as 3 and 4 years old. They took them away from their families. They took them to these residential, most of them were Catholic schools.
Because they do really well with kids.
Yeah. They cut their hair off, which sounds, but that's a big thing. Mm-hmm. Like, they cut their hair off. They were beaten if they spoke their language. They couldn't mention any of their religious practices or any of their cultural nothing. They basically tried to whitewash them. They wanted them to only speak English, only read the Bible.
See, I dare say that if somebody came into my village or whatever the fuck it's called and tried to take my kid, one of us would be dead.
You're right. You. Because
they wouldn't take him whole, though.
They had rounded him up. They had... Because you have to understand, it for so many of the Native Americans, and that's in Canada and in the U.S., even in South America, less South America because they didn't depend so heavily on the herds. But so much of
the Catholics fucked all of South America, too.
Yeah, but a
lot more than they did here.
Oh, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is before they could get them to this point where they were so broken down and rounded up and put on reservations, first they had to kill their way of life. The first way to do that was to kill their source of food. And that's why...
Is that why they killed all the buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw a picture
one time. It was just like thousands of buffaloes.
Millions.
Well, this picture, though, it was such a huge pile, I can't even describe it.
Of carcasses?
Yeah. And they had just gone out and fucking shot them.
Yeah.
No intention of eating them or using the hide or anything like that. These were American military.
Yeah, took the robes on some of them because they were worth money, but left the carcasses and all that meat to rot. Do you know that at one time, and I'm talking even in the 17 and 1800s, that a single herd of buffalo could contain over 1 million animals?
Wow.
Yeah.
They stretched for miles. They literally supported these people for millennia. And they knew that's why the Indian Wars went on so long. As long as they had, it's like, you can't starve people out if they've got a Walmart neighborhood market in their backyard. So the first thing they had to do was get rid of their supply. And it was their supply of everything. It was their supply of warmth because of the robes. Their tools were made from the bones and the leather and the meat.
That's... That idea is not a new one. The way you control a population, make them dependent on the government, no matter how you have to do that. Make them scared, and then they'll do pretty much anything you want.
So, yeah, that's why the government put bounties out on Indians. They put bounties out on buffalo. It was an official policy for several administrations that the only good Indian is a dead Indian. They killed women and they killed children and old people, and they just didn't care. And so when you say that they couldn't have come and taken my children, no, not right away. But the thing was, they had already spent decades beating them down, grinding them under their heel, and making them, then when they finally, ran them to ground, killed all the buffalo, then we're going to put you on these reservations. And so long as you stay on your reservations, you won't have to hunt. We'll provide food. But it was all spoiled, and the blankets had smallpox. And
then, by the way, we just discovered gold here.
So you're going to have to move off of here because now...
This is an important message for people today, too. If you think the government will take care of you, you are fucking dumb. History repeats itself, and they don't take care of anybody.
Yes, they do. Themselves.
Okay. They don't take care of the people that they say they're going to take care of.
Their constituent is themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Always. So then they get them, and they're just a shell of what they were. They've taken everything. They've taken their culture. The Indians, they danced. That was for healing. It was for
storytelling.
And they took all of it away.
They would shoot them for dancing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, one of the great massacres that they had. That really kicked off like Wounded Knee and got Custer killed is they had killed a bunch of women and children
At that school.
Well, no, in a reservation dancing. I
thought it was there was this other massacre.
Oh no, yeah, that was when they were all in the courthouse.
Was it the courthouse? Okay, and it was because no. What I'm talking about, it was a school. Because somebody had posted this thing and they were like, "Oh, Sandy Hook's the worst school shooting," blah blah blah. And that was tragic.
Or school massacre.
That was tragic, but the information is fucking wrong. Fuck, I wish I could remember the date. It was mid to late 1800s, and I want to say it was South Dakota, but don't hold me to that. And these motherfuckers came up there and massacred 200 and some odd kids because they were there.
Yeah.
So and the caption actually said, "Fuck, I guess we forgot." Maybe it was 185. It doesn't matter. It was a fucking ton of kids, and it said, "Well, I guess we just forgot about this."
And and so anyway, they would march them off. These kids, when you think about 3 and 4 years old, those are babies still. I mean, they're not. We don't even send those to school at that, at our age. Right. We realize they're too. So they would be sent away from everything they ever known, and they would try to take every last bit of their culture from them. And lots of them did run away.
Good for them.
But a lot of them were so small they never made it home. Yeah. And that's over the years. They told people that if a child went missing from the residential schools, I guess they ran off. Well, in at least the case of 215 of them, no, they didn't. They died in their care and they buried them on the grounds, and they found them over the last month. And that all came out. And this was just one school out of hundreds. One school out of hundreds, and I guarantee you start digging up on the grounds of the rest of them, and you're going to find little bodies. So all over Canada, all over the reservations in the U.S. and stuff, they've been doing tributes to them where they set out like 215 pairs of little moccasins, and it's just seeing that's a lot of little souls.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that because it's really been on my heart and my mind a lot, and and I guess it happened. I saw the press release about it while we were sitting at the Indian Relay in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. God, y'all have got to go see that shit. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Now, they're racing on thoroughbreds.
Okay.
So, you know what a thoroughbred horse, that's just full of fire, full of, these guys come running up. They jump on these thoroughbreds.
Now, these are bareback, right?
Bareback. Yeah, they don't have, all they've got's a bridle and their bare legs.
And hope.
Yeah. And
a bridle and willpower.
The
only time I rode a horse, it was bareback.
These are going fast. They would jump on and they'd take off and they'd run around this mile track.
That's a hell of a track.
Then they'd come around. It was around this whole fairground. Then they would come around and jump off the one before it stops. It's still moving at breakneck speed, and they jump off and they run to the other horse, never stop moving, and jump on it and take off.
They're not running; they're sliding because of the momentum.
Yeah, and it was so exciting and so incredible, and it's just like
all I can think about is one misstep and you've lost a knee.
We watched this one guy. I'll show you some TikToks after we finish this. This one guy. He gets hit by 3 horses. He's just one of the handlers. He gets hit, he's crawling off the tracks, trying to get out of the way, and just keeps getting hit over and over.
That reminds me of that one fucking thing where the guy keeps getting kicked in the face with the soccer ball.
While we were there, I didn't see it go down, thank God, because it was on the back side of the track from us. We heard a horse went down.
Oh.
And they thought the girl was hurt real bad. The girl was fine, but the horse had to be put down.
Oh.
Yeah, and we didn't know it. We stumbled into it later, and I was like,
"Oh yeah,
I didn't want to see that."
They just left the body there?
They had it covered with a tarp, but you could tell what it was. And
it's hard to move a horse.
yeah. I mean,
Well, yeah, but I mean,
they were waiting till all the
Everybody went away.
spectators were gone.
Okay, no, that,
and they
all
were
right,
gonna, because you got to bury a horse with a tractor.
Yeah.
And like the family was sitting with the horse still. It was, but I mean, it was just like they had the horses painted like you see in the artwork with the, because all the different symbols on the horses mean different things. It was just, and they had their feathered head and the war cry. God, it was just incredible. I told Ross, I was like, that's it. We're retiring and we're just following Indians. That's just it. It was just so exciting. And like, then they also had it for the little ones. And I'm talking 3 and 4 year old kids. Shit.
They're riding German Shepherds?
No, they were riding ponies. Riding ponies. And like they, again, bare-legged, bare feet.
That's the part that would fuck me up.
Well, no, they were holding
barefoot.
on with their toes and shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, because they would like grip, like, and help them, and they were barrel racing these horses bareback, and these little bitty kids, and they'd get them ponies, and they just with their legs, and they it was the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And I bet those babies were on those horses before they could toddle, because they had no fear, and they had the war bridles on them where it's just a string under the jaw and it goes back, and that's how all they were using to control them. It was incredible.
And I'm going to tell you another. Actually, Brandy's going to tell you because she knows more about it than I do. We went into the town of Pawhuska. And
this is something we talked about in the podcast once.
Basically, right now, Pawhuska is one big giant film set. There is film sets all
Martin
over
Scorsese.
the town. Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio.
That Killers of the Flower Moon. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
They're filming that right now in Pawhuska.
Yeah.
And that was the town. They had it in the fairgrounds was where we were at the thing. And so we go and they had the big green screen and a train depot. And we didn't really know it. We just kind of wandered into it. And we were like, what the fuck? It was really cool. And
the movie, you go see them walking through one of the sets or something.
Me and my scooter.
There they are in the background.
That's it.
I don't think they had those back
I think
then.
that's an acronym. Wow, but that's where the Pioneer Woman films her show, and it's also where she has her big restaurants and her big mercantile store.
But she owns half that damn
Oh
town.
my God, yeah, they own that whole
God.
fucking county, and it was really cool. It was really, really cool. They had an old block of shops that they had redone, and they were using them as like filming stations, and it was it was really, really cool. It was really I'm very excited to see that movie. Some friends of my nephew's, De Niro's staying in his house while he's there. And of course, I mean, they can't speak to him or anything. Like, they paid them to move out. And like, would you rent your house to Robert De Niro for 3 months? And they were like, we'll pay you this much money. And they were like, yep.
You're like, rent it or buy it?
Because this doesn't look like a rental situation.
Yeah.
So the people took that money. It was such a windfall. And apparently they're pretty well off. They live on the river. They just rented a whole condo thing in Bali for 3 months.
Jesus Christ.
I hate when well-off people just get more shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they were just like, you can't be here, you can't speak to him, but I was like, well, have him sign everything while he's there, like De Niro shit here, or but yeah, I'm really excited to see that movie come out. Robert De Niro, because we talked about what it was, and it was, the Osage Indian tribe in the 1920s was the richest people per capita on the planet in Oklahoma.
They struck oil before
They were the
Texas
first
did.
people to strike oil, and
I'm sure the government came and took that right away from them.
No.
No. So what they did?
I remember where they fucked them out of it.
Yeah, they were grown people. It's not like they were children, but they put everything in trust, and they had to have a white person dole their money out. Yeah. Well, they elected this guy, and he was some official. Yeah. And he was like the town big dog, and so he was over a lot of them, and then they all just start disappearing.